I was recently speaking with someone about, I believe it was Dr. Gundry, who brought up fasting and to beware sometimes of heavy metals. I'm a big fan of fasting as well, but I'm also aware that if you're too toxic, sometimes fasting can release things. Your organs of elimination aren't primed to then, get them out, and they recirculate, almost like a chelating before stimulating the organs can have a detrimental. What are your thoughts on that? Do you think that as you're fasting, you're improving the organs of elimination enough that they should be able to handle something like heavy metals?
Yeah, I think I might have a little bit of a different perspective than him. I'm not talking about like a month-long fast. Like, clearly, people need to have enough amino acid building blocks to be able to drive phase 2 liver detoxification. But I'm specifically talking about like a 1 to 3 day water fast, which is the purpose is basically to actually give the body a break.
Right.
And not much detoxification is going to happen in this time, aside from the lymphatic system can start working properly. And then we can start reintroducing with either bone broths or vegetable broths to basically start to rebuild a person's, because we're talking about very sick illnesses. And those cases do require some very unique processes. Right. And then there's also like quite good detoxification supports, like, whether a person does Epsom salt baths or doing sauna is a great way to then allow the skin to have a greater role in the detoxification process. Even colonics I've found quite useful when people are in acute states of toxicity.
Yes.
So time and place, it is important. I'm sure Gundry is super bright. But I would just say I wouldn't ignore the benefits.
Oh, no. And again, like you said, it's something we've used throughout civilization as a way to benefit us. Fasting really is that reset button in many ways. And unfortunately, we don't reset at all. We're constantly throwing things within us that burden us. And when do we ever stop to say, okay, allow the body to reset? So I believe fasting is incredibly important.
Well, and also, I guess since we're talking about fasting, it's also worth talking about taking a fast from electronics.
Oh, yeah.
Because EMFs are quite aggravating to our nervous system. It also will put our nervous system into the fight or flight response. We at my home, we just did like an EMF detection just to double check to see, because it's impossible to live in New York City without getting exposed to Wi-Fi and EMFs. But if it's too high in certain places, it can be quite detrimental, especially for kids. And I have a 4 and a 6-year-old at home. So we found that on where our bed is sitting happens to be on the other side of the wall from where our Sonos is sitting. And so we found that there was enough radiation coming from that. It's electricity. And that's not something that you want your baby brains to be getting exposed to at night. So people can easily buy these EMF detectors online. They're not expensive. And people like it's basically appliances or things to watch out for, like refrigerators, microwaves, but also TVs and Sonos.
And Sonos, of course. Yeah, we're not doing any justice for Sonos sales here. But no, it's very true that, listen, we live in an electric soup of things, EMF, we have 5G, we have Wi-Fi, we have all these things. We have to limit it, especially as we sleep. We need a harmonized environment for a harmonized body and mind. And so I'm glad you brought that up, because most people don't see EMF as a toxin. They're not getting the lab results of their EMF exposure, right? Even though it's there, and it could absolutely be seen in HRV and sleep things and like that.